Hey, welcome to another episode of Live, Think, Grow. My name is 𝗁𝗃𝗃 and I help female coaches and lightworkers become full-time and thriving using spiritually infused mindset, marketing, and sales strategy. Now, welcome to another free mini training in my new Costa Rican apartment. I'm so stoked to be here. You can't see it, but there is an ocean view literally right there. I'll have to, well, let me just take a video of it really quick. Okay, so look at this view. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm super blessed to be in this beautiful space. As a digital nomad, I'm always traveling around, but I'm gonna be here for the next 2 months and I'm super stoked to grow some roots. But that's beyond the point, because on today's episode, I actually want to share with you my story. Now, this is my story of how I went from 0 to 6-figure plus soul-aligned coach in just 1.5 years. Mind-blowing. And it's really special that I'm doing this again because I actually, when I first started this YouTube channel, I posted my story. You can actually go back and watch it. But since then, so many things have happened, right? I've built this amazing business. I've called in literally soulmate clients from all over the world. I've had so much financial abundance, but I've also had abundance in so many other ways. So it's time for us to get personal and for me to really dive in and share with you my story so that you can understand what it looks like to create a full-time and thriving coaching business from your soul. Without further ado, here's my story. I'm gonna try my best to keep this as abridged as possible. This isn't the unabridged dictionary over here. Just because, yeah, it could take 5 years to tell you the story. So I'm gonna just do my best so that you can get all of the vegan meats and potatoes of what it has actually looked like to get where I am right now. And I think that's something so powerful to bring up, right? You see a lot of coaches doing their thing, but you don't really know that much about their journey. So I hope by today's episode, you're going to have an understanding of who I really am that is really going to help you look at your own unique path in a different way. So this story really gets started when I graduated from UCLA in 2017. Go Bruins. And that year post-grad, that 1 year after I graduated, was one of the hardest years of my life. I've always suffered from anxiety, and that year it was just a mega anxious land. I was suffering from a lot of panic attacks. I was in a relationship that didn't really serve me, but I was kind of blind to it. I was really just I didn't have a 9 to 5 because I always knew I was never going to work a 9 to 5, but I was really just struggling to understand how I was going to make my dream my reality. And I've said this ever since I was a little girl, but I always knew I was going to work for myself. I knew I wanted to travel the world. I knew I wanted to help people, but I didn't know what the heck that looked like. So that year I had a bunch of part-time jobs. I worked as a freelancer. Thank goodness I also was a virtual assistant for the best mentor ever. She started her own business. Shout out Cassie. She started Cassie's Cardinals. And from her, I learned so much about being a female entrepreneur. So that's really when it started to get in my radar. Oh my goodness, loud ass car. 1 second. Sorry, got distracted by the loud car out the window. You can't control these sounds, you know what I mean? Anyway, back to what I was saying. I really learned a lot about entrepreneurship from her and what it looks like to really manage and handle and grow your business as a solo entrepreneur. Not easy. So anyway, I'm living in LA. I'm this isn't sitting well. I gotta do something. I gotta make a move. I gotta just get out of here. This isn't what my soul wants to do. I ended up, my car and apartment lease, they were up. I was that's it. I'm gonna just put my stuff in a storage unit and I'm gonna go to Southeast Asia on a solo backpacking trip. And the first stop was in Thailand, and I knew I wanted to do yoga teacher training. And I just found this amazing program called 𝘂𝗵𝘃𝗃. Literally changed my life. And then from there, I didn't have any plans. I was I'm just gonna see where the universe takes me. So This is October of 2018. I go to Southeast Asia. I get my yoga teacher certification. In that 1 month, that 30-day span, by the way, literally went through a massive spiritual awakening. I started meditating every single day for 50 minutes a day. That's 50. I really started diving inwards, understanding like all the ways in which my ego is getting in the way of me living the life that I wanted. So it was a lot of work. It was intense. And then I ended up backpacking for 4 months. Just like, when I tell you like magic is real, I wasn't working. So like the universe really showed me what happens when you just like relax and you go with the flow and you surrender to the universe. Because like the stuff that happened to me, I am going to write a book about it, but like fell in love, met best friends, like got introduced to like my galactic side, which that's like a whole nother thing for another episode. I just had these like incredible experiences where like I had an hour-long conversation with a Buddhist monk, and I met like a Thai family, and I ended up living in a dream house on a Balinese rice field by myself, like eat, pray, love style. Just all of these things just coming to fruition because I finally let go and was connecting to my spirit soul. So at the end of the trip, I was like, there's no way I'm going back to LA. So I did what I needed to do, and I was like, I'm going to move to Bali. Didn't know anyone. I met a couple of people because I had backpacked there from that trip, but I was like, let's do it. I'm just going to do it. And it was so difficult, by the way, like so many like intensities happening during this time. I ended up moving to Bali, and I lived there for 8 months, and I was teaching English online to kids in China. I was still working as a VA, really just had these like part-time side hustles until I met my first mentor, Tyrone, shout out to him. He really helped me start coaching. So he helped show me that coaching was my path. And as soon as I had that session with him, I'll never forget, I like knew that that was what I was always meant to be doing. Like it just like clicked, and it felt like everything I had done in my life prior to that was actually preparing me for this path. Like I shit you not, it is that divine. So from there, started life coaching. And this was August of 2019. Started life coaching, helping like busy corporate millennials just with finding peace and balance, because I'd gone through this huge spiritual awakening. And then I knew that if I was going to really like be successful, I had to like quit my other endeavors and like hone in and focus on coaching. So January 2020, I decided to take coaching full-time. I really showed the universe in doing that, which is what happens when you actually quit your full-time job, that like you're committed and that you're going to do this. And I knew like my success was inevitable. And I literally told everyone I was going to make 10K by May of 2020, my first 10K month, and that by the end of the year, I would hit 6 figures. Literally have it in my journal. I would tell everyone that. January 2020, took it full time, and I was struggling, like not owning my worth. I didn't really have an offer. Ended up joining Rachel Bell's online coach accelerator, amazing program, and it really accelerated my business. And it allowed me to pivot to what I'm doing now, which is mindset and business coaching with this like spiritual twist. Because what I realized from there is like, okay, once I figured out who my niche and my offer was, I knew that my like secret sauce was being able to incorporate like your soul into creating a business. Because it is so different when you are co-creating this with spirit, and when you are so rooted in your why and in your mission and who you're here to serve. So ended up hitting my first 10K month, launched UCB, my blueprint program, for the first time in March, it was April, had my first 10K month in May, just like I had manifested. And then from there I was like, ooh, I got to keep this going. So then I hired another mentor who I'm still working with now, 𝘰𝗉, shout out to her, who really like helped me get on track to hit 6 figures. And I just went like balls to the wall. I ran the blueprint program multiple times. I then created the mastermind, which is my more advanced container for women and female coaches and light workers looking to hit consistent 5K plus months and create sold out launches. Started offering VIP one-on-ones. that's like the tangible business side of things. Like my business just freaking exploded. And by December, I literally, it was 2 weeks before the end of the year, hit the 6-figure mark. Again, these are like the tangible financial wins, but I just want to point that out, how significant that is and how much can happen in 1 year. And after investing $30,000 in yourself, like that's just what happens. The universe is ready to give you everything that you desire and want. But on a more intangible level, what happened is over this last year and a half, I have learned so much about myself. You see, because this isn't just about building a 6-figure plus business. This path, when you actually listen to your soul and you know that you're here to serve other people, it's a spiritual path. It is confronting. For me to get to every new level in my business, I had to get to every new level in my own spiritual ascension. Let that sink in for a second. I had to overcome limiting beliefs. I had to reprogram old stories. I had to dive into deep trauma that was affecting my relationships and the way that I was showing up in the world. And without doing that, I wouldn't be on the other side, being able to show up in marketing and content and creating the business that I've created. And so now, right, in May 2021, I am now in the multiple 6 figures projected for the end of this year. Literally, it's already May and I've already brought in $70,000 plus. But more importantly, I am now fully in my worth and in my power, not only as a female, as a coach, but in who I am as a multi-dimensional person living a temporary human life. I just got goosebumps while sharing this. And not only that, but this has also looked like a huge activation in my psychic abilities as well as my mediumship and channeling. So this is all that I've gone through to really get to where I am now. And, you know, again, this story could be like 5 years long. The main takeaway that I want you to have is that this is a spiritual path, and that by you choosing this, you are willingly choosing to go down the path that is going to confront you. It's going to confront your ego. It's going to confront your shadow. It is also going to have you confront your desires, like what you really, really want. Because the people that I call in, and if you're watching this, you are one of those, you just know that you are not here to settle for average. You have felt it in your bones just like I did, and you are here to take action on that. And so I want you to trust that your success is inevitable. And I want you to trust that just like you are listening to my story right now, that you also have a grand and beautiful and unique story to tell, a triumphant one where you are successful and thriving as well, because that's exactly what you are worthy of and what your soul is calling for you to experience. So if you've made it through this whole story time, I just want to say thank you for being here and for witnessing me and in my power, allowing me to then reflect that back at you so that you can continue to step into your power. So that's it for today's episode. Again, thank you for listening. I will see you next week.